Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TeamWorks. I hope you've enjoyed your break. I hope you enjoyed your first session with the kids, kind of checking in to see how their holidays, how they spent their holidays, all the exciting fun stuff. Hopefully you shared your holiday experience. Hopefully you got a holiday, you got some time off. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed your first session with the kids, reconnecting. Now, mentors, we're still in that self-esteem and healthy relationship phase. Don't forget, we're still in that self-esteem and healthy relationship phase, and probably the most important phase in our entire curriculum, because at-risk kids suffer from, some self-esteem issues, etc., etc. So we want to definitely do everything we can to help build their self-esteem so that they make healthier choices and are more resilient. So the purpose of our activities this session are to encourage our students to think of the feelings of others. So we want to encourage them to really think about everybody else. How, that whole thing, love thyself as you would your neighbor, or however that goes. But, or love thy neighbor as you do yourself. Said it backwards, but that kind of thing. For students to discover also what it feels like to make others feel good, all right? So that they can discover what it feels like, for them personally, when they make other people feel good. So that's really building their empathy, as well as, developing, the way they think morally, their moral code, right? Great lesson for this age, especially in their social development, because, they're trying to fit in, trying to figure out who they are, and they're making those kind of choices. Additionally, in these activities that we're going to do, the kids are not only identifying positive qualities about their own self, but they're also giving compliments. So as a result, we really are building their self-esteem, and again, as I mentioned earlier, so that we can make them more resilient, fortify our kids with that good, strong self-esteem. So something for you to think about. That's the purpose of all our activities, building their self-esteem and empathy for each other. All right? So what are we going to do? We're going to start off our session overall is called 3 for Me, and we're going to start off with the question of the day. How important is being popular to you? Okay? How important is being popular to you? So as you can imagine, you're probably going to have a very long discussion about popularity. And this can spin into so many directions, right? So really, please take as much time as you want to talk about popularity. It'd be really interesting to hear the kids what they think about being popular at this day and age, with the whole bullying thing and fitting in and being a celebrity and famous and all that stuff. So we're probably going to have some great conversation. Next, we're going to talk about our energizer, and our energizers are real good, makes you feel good, like eating some warm macaroni and cheese. But it's called Metaphor for Relationships. Metaphor for Relationships. Not too difficult to facilitate this one. It's fairly easy. You're going to break your team up into 3 groups. Hopefully you can have 3 to 4 kids on a team. You're going to get some strips, all right? You're going to distribute these attribute cards. So you want to explain to the kids that these are attribute cards, or positive qualities, or nice things, or compliments, however you want to describe what these cards are, or what they represent. And then simply, as they're broken up into these groups of 3 to 4 students, you're going to give each student 4 attribute cards, all right? And the attribute cards have things like the most athletic person, the most positive person, the coolest person, the most trendy person, the tallest person, the most likely to write a book, the most likely to go to college, etc. So you'll give each student 4, you'll put them face down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then once you get them, you're going to say go, and what they're going to do is they're going to pick them up, they're going to read them. They have the opportunity, mentors, to keep 1. I encourage you just to allow them to only keep 1, so that way we're really forcing them to kind of share the love, as they say. All right, so they can keep 1 if they want, or they can give away all 4 of their attribute cards. Once they pass them all out, you'll say, okay, everybody read your attribute cards, really nice stuff that people have said about them or think about them. And then what you're going to have them do is introduce themselves with these new qualities that they've discovered, like what their team feels about them. So for example, I might have my attribute cards here, and I'm going to say, hi, my name is Will. I am the tallest, most energetic, most calmest person on the team. All right, so once I've gotten my attribute cards, I'm going to reintroduce myself to my team with my new attributes, my newfound attributes. All right, so you'll just go around and have every kid introduce themselves with their new attributes. Now, we're going to go into the main activity, the 3 for Me main activity. Really fun, again, giving and receiving compliments. So the first one is called the frisbee throw. So mentors, you're going to prop up this hula hoop somewhere. It can be against a trash can, a desk, or whatever, but you're probably going to want to do it at an angle because the whole goal is to throw this frisbee into the hula hoop. So you want to be able to, allow it to go through the hula hoop. So you're going to have to prop it up against something at an angle. All right, so the whole goal is mentors, give it some distance. We don't want it to be too easy. We want it to be challenging. It's one of these kinesthetic kind of things, so we want to make it interactive and fun and challenging. So don't forget to make it challenging. So here are the rules for frisbee throw. If a frisbee goes through the hula hoop, so if they make it and they throw that frisbee and it goes through, they have to point to someone on the team and say something nice. I might point something to the team and I say, wow, I think you're really good at math. All right, so if it goes through, they have to point to someone random and on the team and say something nice. Now, if they miss it, so let's say I throw this and it goes off to the side, then I have to say something nice about myself, and I might say, I'm a pretty loyal person. All right, so I'm a loyal person, so that might be the nice thing I say about myself. All right, so that was frisbee throw. Throw the frisbee in. All right. Our next activity is called soccer shot. Pretty simple as well. You're going to create the little goalie, the little goal. You'll separate these. Again, give it some distance. And what the kids are going to do is use your normal little ball here, and they got to kick the soccer ball through the goal. All right? So here are your rules for this one. Oh, and I forgot to mention, mentors. Try to stay away. Make the kids work for it. Try to stay away from physical attributes. You have pretty hair, pretty eyes, nice nails, whatever it may be, but try to stay away from the physical attributes and get them to dig a little deeper and make more meaningful compliments, all right? So soccer shot. If they get the ball through, everyone on the team has to say something nice. So let's say I kick that ball, goes through, then everyone has to say something nice. So they might huddle up, come up with their positive compliment, and they might come to me and say, hey, we think you're a really outgoing person. So that would be if I make the ball through the hoop. All right. So now, if we miss and I kick the soccer ball and it goes out and it doesn't go through the center, then I have to say something nice about the next person in line. So I'd have to turn around and say, "Wow, I think you're really artistic." All right. So I'd have to say something about the next person in line. All right. Pretty simple. That's the soccer one. The soccer one, you get it through, everyone says something nice to you. If you miss, you have to say something nice about the next person in line. Ride and run, you're going to divide your team up into 2 groups. It's a relay race. It's a competition to see who can come up with the most positive attributes or qualities. So everyone has to run up and say something positive about themselves. You'll give them a marker. You'll put your butcher paper up. You either have 2 pieces or 1 piece, split a column. Group A, Group B, and they're going to run back and forth. So let's say I'm the first kid in line. I get the marker. I'm going to run up, and I'm going to do mine, creative. And then I'm going to pass it on to the next student. Next student's going to come up, and they might put athletic, etc. You're going to go back and forth until you call times. Kids can repeat, etc. It's just a matter of when you say stop. And when they say stop, you say stop. You count them all up. And really what we were trying to show the team is look collectively as an entire group, as a unit, as a team, what we bring to the table. All right? So self-esteem and healthy relationships, one of those activities to boost their self-esteem, to build their empathy so that they're more considerate of each other and others. So I'm going to leave you with this, since it's about empathy and treating each other, how you treat each other. And it's about receiving compliments too. We want the kids also to be able to give and receive compliments, right? Something very difficult. So don't forget your questions. But Susan Sarandon said this, yes, the almighty Susan Sarandon. She said, when you start to develop your powers of empathy, the whole world opens up to you. All right? So when you start to develop the powers of empathy, the whole beautiful world opens up to you. That's Will signing out.